Set commands is a way of setting a fixed value or something from the dynamic syntax. So you can see the value to set is the value to set, and you can see there's tips along the way saying you can use dynamic syntax on the current form using the dynamic syntax. You can also use the SQL syntax, SQL colon, and then some SQL, and the value of that SQL will be the value to set, and so on. And you can see there's a special keyword like new line. So don't remember, expect you can remember all of this. The way to do this is to go in and say, I have the F1 key, the help key at my disposal, and everything is documented in here, how it should be. Enable and disable can enable and disable fields. Show and hide can show and hide the fields. Sleep is a system where you can sleep for a number of seconds before you continue with a macro. Please see the tip of the week session on send keys and sleep, because that will tell you a lot about when to use sleep and especially when not to use sleep. Message box is a box coming up where the user needs to press OK. Status bar is the bars at the lower, and prompts is a way to say if I want to prompt something for yes or no. We have some samples on that as well in some of the deal weeks. UF is a way to call other universal functions. Macro is essentially a universal function, of course, but if you want to have that, you have a universal function of type crystal report and a universal function of type message, and you want to have both, you can essentially make a macro to say first run this crystal report and then run this message. So it's a way of delegating other universal functions into the system. User query is a way of activating the different user queries saved in the database. They have a special way of working because they need a query ID, and you can see in this case it's some SQL that you need to use in order to find that ID. But you can essentially make a universal function then that would run it. Then we have things like uppercase, lowercase, and first case, so you can force a field to have uppercase data, lowercase data, or first case data if you want to, and you can see again some samples on my string and small caps will go into uppercase. Blank is a way of emptying a field of no value because you can't use set with a no value. For color is a way to set the text color of a field, and again you can see it will give you the options what type of colors you can use, and some of them are highlighted so the most common colors can be found easily. Back color is the same as for color, but it will color the background of the field. Block is a way of stopping this SAP progress, but the rest of the macro will be executed. Close is a way to close the current window. Set form title is a way to set the title of the window, so the title up here in an SAP window. Freeze and unfreeze is a way of disabling the way it flickers, and as you see again, a sample will tell you how to work it. So you can see if I wanted to set these two items, I could put in a freeze and an unfreeze between them in order to make it happen a bit faster. The final one is send keys. I won't go into details here because we have a special tip of the week session on that. So let's go back to Business One and let's see some demos. Here we are back, and let's remove this, and let's try to make a macro that opens a window and transfers some data from one window to the other. So in our case, let's have it happen on Business Partner. and let's make a button. Let's call it test. That will launch this universal function once we make it. So we want to have that when we press the button, we will open up sales quotation, and as we can see, that has menu UID 2049 in the lower left corner. So we have something called activate 2049, put it in like this, and we'll then give some comments so we can easily understand what we have made. Open sales quotation, like this. We will then have that we want to transfer some data from this field, which is item 5, the code of the business partner. And we want, essentially, we open the window and we want to transfer it into this field, item 4. So if I put in transfer and say I want to have item 5, and pass that on into item 4. And remember to type in the comments, because else it will not make that much sense if you see this in a few months. So transfer part code, and let's just end up with just setting some default value in the remarks field. You can see that is item 16. Let's use a set command. Targets would be 16.0.0, and the value, let's just put in test in order to see it in action. Set value to test this. Give it a name, test, and put in like this. So we have our new test button. I'll just get rid of all these windows and see now that we have a test button, and be a customer with 1000. Press our button, open the window, transfer the data, and put in remarks test. So this is kind of scripting where you can end up creating a lot of different automated features. And that is the essential of macros. And I know you won't get every single command right now, but I would urge you to see a lot of the tip of the week sessions we run once every week, so, because most of them use macros in all kinds of different areas, and the samples as well. This concludes this session. For training material, please go to service.boyum-it.com/education, or if you want a free demo of the product, go to license.boyum-it.com/b1up. If you want to contact us, you can do it either by our sales email or our support email. Thank you for attending.